Now we are going to look at some ways to respond when someone is introducing themselves to you or when you are introducing someone to another person. We already saw a few of them, a couple of them, in fact, in our previous video. So you can say nice to meet you, or you can say pleased to meet you, or you can say happy to meet you. You can also use the expression how do you do, right? Then, if you can use certain variations, certain other variations, like if someone says, uh, hello, Sonia, this is Usha. I'd like you to meet Usha. So, or hello, Ravi, I'd like you to meet Usha. And Ravi says, oh, Sonia mentions you all the time, right? So it has to be, maybe it's someone Sonia knows. So Usha is someone Sonia knows, but Ravi does not know. So that could also be a scenario where Usha and Sonia are very close, and Ravi and Sonia are also close, but Usha and Ravi have never met, right? So when Sonia introduces Usha to Ravi, Ravi's response is, Sonia mentions you all the time, right? Or, I've heard so much about you. Or you can say, finally, so happy to meet you, right? So again, this will depend. Now, which of these you're going to use is going to be determined by who you are addressing it to. So obviously, if say Usha is Sonia's boss and Ravi is Sonia's brother, so Ravi can't Ravi can't respond to Usha as, oh, finally, so happy to meet you, because that would be improper. That would be an improper structure for your sister's boss. But if he says, I've heard so much about you, or Sonia mentions you all the time, that would be appropriate. So there's a degree of formality involved in what kind of language you use, or how you respond. That will be determined by the relationship which you share or which you have with the person who is with you, right? On the other hand, say if Usha is Sonia's friend and Ravi is Sonia's sister, and Ravi and Usha have never met, right? And Sonia has been telling Ravi about Usha, and finally they get to meet. Ravi can definitely say, finally, so happy to meet you. That is appropriate, right? Because that's a less formal situation. So now this brings us to the next uh, area in our discussion, which is intonation and degree of formality. Now, I did refer to degree of formality in the previous slide, if you remember. Formality refers to the relation which you have with the person who is part of the conversation. So if it's your boss or the principal of your college or your teacher or a senior person, of course, the level of formality will increase. So you will use expressions like, it's a pleasure to meet you, very nice to meet you, ma'am, or it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. If it's a friend or a colleague, you can say, nice to meet you, or happy to meet you, glad to meet you. So the level of formality decreases, right? Then if you're saying, hi, I am, that's a very, very informal way of introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Usha, and you are, right? uh, and if you say, let me introduce myself, I'm Usha, so that's more formal. So these are the varying levels of formality, and you are the best decision maker of the structure which you are going to use, because you know best what kind of relation you share with the person you are in a conversation with, right?